Tanking Warriors of Azeroth. Season 3 is here, and it's time to put the tanks in the spotlight once again. Which classes will rise to glory, and which will crumble under the weight of the current dungeon pool. The stakes are higher, the fights are tougher, and today we're finding out exactly where every tank stands. Let's dive in. Hello lovely people, great to have you with me. My name is Brink and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into my tank tier list for season 3. For me, tanking should also be fun, so I'm mixing that into the list. Of course, putting out big numbers matters too. I mean, what tank doesn't like topping the damage charts? That's a different kind of fun on its own, and of course also very important. It's the start of the season. People want to know which tanks are performing better than others. But first things first, all tanks are viable for pushing keys. Last season, the difference between the so-called S tier tank and the lowest ranked B tier tank was just a couple of key levels. The VDH managed a plus 22, while the Blood DK, sitting at the bottom, still cleared a plus 20. I mean, let's be real. Are you planning to do plus 20s? If your goal is reaching plus 12 or plus 15s even, those two key differences isn't really that relevant. It's how the tank will perform in your hands what is most important. And from my experience, the one you enjoy the most will be the one you get to know the best. So keep that in mind as we go through this list. You could consider it hyperbolic, more about flavor and small performance edges than night and day differences. Okay, let's dive in. First up, the Blood Death Knight. One of the biggest conveniences this season is all those grips. In a meta where dungeons are packed with ads, that utility is huge. Plenty of caster mobs to pull in, so the group can nuke them down. But pacing wise, it's not the smoothest. Playing Blood Death Knight feels a bit like taking a casual stroll through every dungeon. Maybe we have the occasional rave walk thrown in, but still, you get the picture. Damage wise, it's in the middle. And if you're not good at your rotation, you will be punished heavily. Looking at the rotation, it's the same Blood Death Knight you known from last season. The new tier set doesn't change that much either. You'll still want to keep Reaver's Mark on your main target, just like before. And if you pick Sen Lane, your Blood Beasts last longer and your Dancing Rune weapon deals more damage. If you're going to play Death Knight, I highly recommend going Sen Lane. It's the clear winner of the two hero talents and gives you a tad more damage. Compared to the other tanks, you could do with some more mitigation and survival at higher keys. So for all these reasons, I'm placing Blood Death Knight well deserved in the B tier. Next up, the Brewmaster Monk. Let's talk movement. I mean, what use is a tank if you're always the last one on the pack? As a tank, you want to be there first, grabbing threat and setting everything up before your group starts blasting. And getting there first, that's no problem for the Monk. Nimble, mobile and fast on your toes. Now utility wise, the Monk still doesn't shine. To be fair, it's hard for any tank to outshine the Paladin in that department. But the tools of the Monk are still pretty situational, and honestly, a bit underwhelming. I actually made a video on this topic, ranting about it last season. Looking at his damage, that's where Blizzard made adjustments and where the Brewmaster delivers. It's putting out better numbers compared to last season. It's one of the highest damage dealing tanks out of the lot. Just that fact alone could be a good reason for you to try out the Monk. Rotation wise, it's decent, it flows. I played it last season, but if I'm really honest, it wasn't fun enough for me to play it as a main 2 seasons in a row. Maybe that says something, maybe it doesn't. But let's just say I've played more engaging iterations in the past, and the new tier set doesn't really change that. With Master of Harmony, Tiger Palm passively hits harder. And with Shadowpan, your flurry strikes happen more often. So, positives, fast movement and solid damage output. If you are considering playing the Brewmaster Monk, pick whichever hero talent you enjoy the most. They're all that close in performance. And for that, I'm placing the Monk in A tier. Next up, the Guardian Druid. Pacing wise, Guardian knows how to get themselves and the group moving. You can charge in, or you can pop Stampeding Roar and make the whole group move faster. All this really helps with chain pulling from pack to pack. Now with all that raw beastly strength comes a decent chunk of damage, that is not topping the charts. In fact, damage can feel like the bottleneck here, but still doesn't come close to what the Monk is pulling off. The new tier set is where things start to pick up, and is actually a fun interaction. If you're 4-piece, you can grab big packs and survive, thanks to more frequent Lunar Beams, but only if you're running with a Loon chosen hero talents. Standing in a beam, you'll feel that strong connection to a Loon keeping you alive, but even with that, the rotation feels clunky to me. And honestly, it does take a slice of fun away of playing a Guardian Druid. And yes, you probably noticed I haven't mentioned Druid of the Claw. And that's because it's still basically non-existent. Not worth discussing until Blizzard gives it some real love. So if you're going Guardian, go Lunar, no questions there. On the utility side, Guardian brings some nice tools. Soothe can save the day in halls when you're facing those terrifying raging bears. And combat res is always a dungeon lifesaver. So with solid utility, but weaker damage and a clunky feel, I'm placing Guardian in B tier, but just ahead of the Blood Death Knight. Okay, let's check out the Warrior next. The speed of the Warrior is just amazing. You're leaping, you're charging all over the place, and it feels exactly like how a raging warrior should. And the best part? You're doing it while pumping out fantastic damage this season. Honestly, that alone is reason enough for trying out Protection Warrior. It's the pure warrior fantasy, and it's doing it really well right now. But all that fun does come at a price. You'll want to bring a good healer with you, because when you leap into that dungeon key, you kind of left yourself healing behind. On the utility side, you're not breaking any records. Intervene is very situational, but your shouts and shockwave are always handy to have in the group. Where warrior really shines is the rotation. As Mountain Fane, your rotation doesn't really change. You just get more thunder blasts. But it's super satisfying to play. Leaping into a pack, stomping your feet, blasting damage everywhere. That's where the fun's at. As for Colossus, honestly, you can forget about it. So, for its speed, damage, and insanely fun rotation, I'm placing this leaping madman right at the top of A tier. Next up, the Protection Paladin. Yes, you got Divine Steed to move faster, but let's be honest, you're not keeping up with the speed of the warrior, demon hunter, or monk. And you don't need to, because you're busy doing other things. And one of those things is definitely not self-healing. You're relying on your healer far more this time around. Damage-wise, Paladin is sitting comfortable at the middle of the spectrum. And yes, it's in a fantastic spot right now. Combine that with all the utility you bring, Prot Paladin is still a holy force to be reckoned with. Combat res, off healing, blessings, lay on hands, interrupts, you bring it all. The rotation? Still fun. Tier set doesn't shake things up too much, but if you're playing Lightsmith, you're getting more holy armaments and hammer and anvils. That's usually the go-to. But Templar is still a solid option if you prefer it. Now, I haven't been a huge fan of these hero talents, and the tier set doesn't change that fact for me. Performance wise, comparing it to a warrior, it's super close. The Paladin does a bit less damage, but leans on the healer a bit less than the warrior. And you bring far more utility to the party, plus a combat res. But man, the warrior is just more fun this time around. So I'm gonna place it on A tier, just behind the warrior and the monk. Sure, I get it, you might think differently. And that's totally fine, but this is my tier list. So if you want to make one yourself, sure, be my guest. Just drop a link below, would you? So I can comment and bust your balls on your tier video. Jokes aside. Next up, the Vengeance Demon Hunter. Movement? Oh man, let's be real. It's everything the other tanks wish they had. You've got multiple leaps, the hunts charge, you can do backflips. I mean, you name it. Basically, you're the only tank that can move like this and control the fight. Damage? Well, on the damage department, it's not as high as a monk or a warrior, and it doesn't quite outshine the paladin, but it's still incredible competitive. But don't forget about the buff you grant casters, Chaos Brand. This buff boosts their damage by 3% on every caster. It's nothing to sniff at. Self-healing? Blizzard has done a solid job here. Yes, you still need a healer, but your self-sustain is no joke. It's stronger than what warrior or paladin bring. But you're also good at preventing damage by chaining your sigils. Talking about sigils, utility. Oh man, my favorite toy is back. Yup, it's back and powerful and really useful in these dungeons. Speccing into Sigil of Change is totally fine. All of the top demon hunters are doing it. So the talent build you will copy will most likely have it anyway. Pulling in multiple packs, stacking them on your designated spot, fearing them and locking them down. It's a powerhouse in the current dungeons, and it's super fun to do. Rotation and fun factor? The rotation by itself isn't diabolical fun, but in its simplicity, it's engaging and fluid. And the most fun is to be had in the overall playstyle. It's an active playstyle. You're always managing something, going from placement to controlling the pack, to dealing damage and doing self-healing at the same time. You're also popping your defensives at moments where you need them the most. And knowing when to pop your defensives is also really satisfying. It's all this together that makes the Vengeance Demon Hunter fun. A Draki Reaver is probably your go-to, and it makes you think a bit more about the order of your rotation. But all this will come naturally anyway. You'll consume your 20 souls naturally. But now you cast your Frogglaive during your rotation, an ability you otherwise wouldn't use, just for pulling. Now it helps you empower your Soul Cleave when cast after Shear. Felskard is still an option. It probably can come a bit closer after a bit more tuning from Blizzard, but at times it does feel a bit weird. Sometimes it's making you wait on a big cooldown. You want to use your meta, but you can't, because it resets your Fel Devastation, and your Fel Dev is coming off cooldown in 9 seconds. So you wait. You're better off using your Fel Dev first, then popping meta, so you can use it again. So yeah, playing them in the correct order is important for double damage output. But then again, it does feel really satisfying going into demon form with your foreset. Overall, the spec feels strong, flexible and powerful for big pulls. You've got the healing, the damage, the utility, and you can even kite if you really needed to. So yeah, you got the style to back it up. And this is why the Vengeance Demon Hunter lands firmly in S tier. A tank that is not only meta worthy, but a total blast to play. It's a bit of a shame that Demon Hunter is holding the S tier crown once again. If you ask me, The problem is that Blizzard still hasn't figured out how to make the rest compete with this top contender. Honestly, I saw this coming. Looking at the Vengeance Demon Hunter kit, it just has everything. Damage, self-healing, utility, you name it. That's why I actually decided to main Vengeance this season, and so far I'm loving it. But don't worry, the other tanks will get their moments to shine, I'm sure of it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but balance always comes around eventually, even if it takes Blizzard a little longer than we'd like. I hope this tier list felt a little different than the usual ones, and that you found it useful or at least entertaining. If you did, consider hitting the subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching everyone, Brink's out.